invite Rory for the communal reflection, please.
Thank you all for being here. Although obviously I'd really rather be anywhere else than I am right now. Let me thank Dr. Father Alphonsus and the singers for a wonderful send-off of Ciaran. I need to express my and my mum and all of Ciaran's family thanks for everybody that's come out and for everybody that has sent prayers and love to us. It has been deeply appreciated at this sad time. I have to mention the Bentley girls, the McGills, the O'Neills, the McKevitts, and the Bentley girls. They've been such a help and a comfort, especially for Mum, Auntie Rita, or Nanny Rita. Also want to thank the Boyles, also the Fitzpatricks, the McKeowns, the Donegans. Everybody has been an amazing support. But sadly, I'm here to talk about Ciaran. What can I say about Ciaran? Ron, Captain Clueless, obviously. He was my big brother. He was a son, father, husband, partner, and a friend of many, a protector of many, but someone who needed protecting also. He was a sinner, undoubtedly, and saint. I won't go that far. But in the last year, he used to call me every Sunday when he'd gone to Mass, call me or text me. So he was trying, for some reason, to get his demons out. I'm not going to tell you loads of stories about Ciaran, as we'd be here until he rose again if we had to go through it all. But even last night, actually, we went to Boyd's and a few of his friends and his cousins were having the crack about him, and within minutes we were laughing like lunatics, shaking our heads in disbelief of some of the many, many stories and things he got up to. I think we actually decided, considering all how he carried on, he's actually lucky he made it to 53. But, as I say, we'll talk about those stories over a few pints later, and we're going back to the Canal Court afterwards, so everybody's welcome there. But what I can tell you about right now is what it was like to be loved by Ciaran, which I would say everyone here has been touched by to some degree, and it will always be. It was such a precious gift, and it's a gift that he gave out in abundance. He was here before me. So I came into this world, and I was welcomed by that abundance of love from my big brother. And it was not a day went by that I didn't know that that love was there for me and for all those around him. Sorry. And I was lucky enough to share that love with his friends, family, and countless friends and family, and obviously his children. I remember going to the hospital when Ciaran and Ciaran did most of the work, as per usual, when they first had Sean and then when they had Grace. When I walked into the room and he presented Sean to me, it was like a kid who had all his Christmases had come at once. It was as ever an infectious joy, which is only doubled, quadrupled when our beautiful Grace came into the world. Sean and Grace, can't imagine what you're feeling right now, from love, sadness, anger and everything in between. Unfortunately, Grace, we won't see any more of those TikTok videos of you singing money, money, money. A real loss to the music industry right there, but you know. And Sean, last time I was with Ciaran, we were talking about you and the Sea Cadets. It was then, despite way too many Union Jacks in the uniform for me, you've become such an amazing young man, and that shaped you. And Ciaran was rightly proud, and we all are both proud of you and Grace. I'm sure Ciaran will be watching you as you grow into the amazing young people you are and that you're becoming. And I know Ciaran will be our redoubtable support in this. But also know for always you'll have me, my mum, Jackie, Iris, Veronica, Joseph, all the Boyles and the Bentleys and everyone here, you know that, to support you through this journey. In considering what an Egypt Ciaran was, you've turned out pretty amazing. People have seen this has been the hardest week. The hardest thing actually this week has been trying to find a sensible picture of Ciaran. In every single picture, he's pulling a face, he's gurning, he's leaning to the side, he's upside down. I've got pictures of him dancing with policewomen, kneeling in front of nuns, ubiquitous pictures of him with a beer mat stuck in his nose. For Jesus' sake, Ciaran, stand still. I think the constant go in Ciaran was why he was loved so much. So many messages have said that he was the party. He was the party when it turned up. And after the party didn't end, which was always a bit of a problem. He had friends everywhere, from his football teams, playing in the school teams, representing London, playing for the Crouching Vampires, and as John reminded me last night, he used to play for the Royal Free Doctors Football Club as well. He also played Gaelic football for St Agnes, and I think he also played for St Kieran's. He represented London, getting a few goals in a big game there. He could also make a friend in a heartbeat. And some of the many holidays trips, he'd head down to the bar early, obviously. And by the time the rest of us get there, he'd know half the pub, had already created a bunch of friends, and have a bunch of in-jokes going on. During my difficult teenage years, he was a shining example of how getting out of my youthful depression and going out and jumping into the world was a better option than sitting in my room. And a life that we had was so much filled with fun. In Camden, Archway, Kentish Town, back in those days, it was too manifold that I can't even mention, and especially not in the house of God. So we'll pick up on those later. But for many a year, Mum, Dad basically had an open house, and the fun, laughter that happened there, it was a little bit too much like the Pogues. We watched our friends grow up together. Some of them fell into heaven, and some of them fell into hell. It was a special time, made better by special people, watched over by Kevin and Rhea Boyle. Ciaran would bring people home he knew or didn't know, and about to know. We had a joke for everyone, and I want to bring everyone along with that joke. I remember one fella came for a pre-Christmas party. He didn't leave to January. But Ciaran orchestrating the lot. There's one childhood memory that sticks with me. When we were in Botswana, it was largely just me and Ciaran, which is probably why we've always been so close. We had these amazing little 50cc scooter motorbikes. They were brilliant, man. We'd go flying around the bush, and there was no health and safety concerns going around too much then. And anyway, one day I broke my arm, so I was deeply depressed, couldn't get my bike. Ciaran said, "None of that, get in the back of mine and we'll crack on." So there's a picture of me clinging onto his back. We belted around the African bush, and as I say, it was what it was like to be loved by Ciaran. Not perfect, not always straight lines, but when it was good, it was the best.
Goodbye, Ciaran. Lord, take our Ciaran gently in your arms and hold him safely in your care. For a heart so big and full of love was a gift beyond compare. A gentle giant with a mischievous smile, a laugh we'll never forget. The life and soul of every room, a light that hasn't left us yet. An Irish Londoner through and through, with a spirit so strong and free. Proud of the places that shaped his life and the people that made him he. He brought adventure, fun and laughter with stories only Ciaran could tell. He lived with kindness in his heart and loved his family so well. Ciaran wore his heart upon his sleeve, though sometimes he couldn't see just how many lives he touched or how loved he'd come to be. For Rita, his mum, who loves him dearly, for Rory, his brother and friend, for Sean and Grace, his precious children, his love for you will never end. Though our hearts are filled with sadness and we wish we had more time, we'll carry every memory made forever in our hearts and minds. We take comfort knowing Kevin was waiting with open arms and a smile so wide, father and son together once more, walking again side by side. So rest now, Ciaran, free and peaceful, your journey here is done. But your laughter, love and gentle soul will live on in every one until we meet again. We love you.
Just to say a word of thanks to all of you for coming, and those who came from London. We appreciate your presence, and as you go back, may the Lord guide and lead you safely to your homes. I want to say thank you to the Eucharistic ministers, And the bereavement team, Joan and Sarah, thank you for being there and praying with the family. And this morning, I want to say thank you to Ann Keenan, the sacristan, and Kathleen Boyd.